Anti-heroes are stealing the spotlight from classic superheroes, and it's clear why. Audiences are swapping perfect heroes for messy, unpredictable, and dangerously fun characters, flipping the script entirely. But what is it about these chaotic anti-heroes like Deadpool that makes us cheer for the rule breakers? Let's find out. Once upon a time, things were simple. Heroes were all shiny smiles, noble speeches, and villains. They twirled their mustaches and cackled in the shadows. Good guys were good. Bad guys were bad. And you always knew who to cheer for. Easy, right? But fast forward to now, and the storytelling game has completely changed. Now we've got Deadpool cracking jokes while causing absolute chaos, Loki scheming his way into our hearts, and villains stirring in their own origin stories. So what gives? Why are we trading squeaky clean heroes for these messy, complicated anti-heroes? And yes, is that a good thing or a bad thing? Don't worry, I'm breaking it all down. But first, let me ask, do you love these rule breakers, or are they overrated? Let us know in the comments section. See, anti-heroes don't fit neatly into the hero or villain box, and that's why we love them. They're not here to be perfect. They're flawed, unpredictable, and, let's be real, super relatable, like Loki. One moment he's stabbing someone in the back, the next he's just a guy longing for his dad's love who can't relate to that messy energy. In Loki Season 1, the big bad is He Who Remains, a Kang variant keeping the multiverse from going wild. But of course, Loki can't resist shaking things up. Now, timelines are branching everywhere, thanks to Nexus events. And guess what? There isn't just one king, there are lots of them, all causing chaos. Loki, our favorite anti-hero, is stuck in the middle of it all. Who knew mischief could mess up reality this much? And don't even get me started on the suspense they bring. With your classic superhero, you know they're going to save the day. But what about anti-heroes? They keep you guessing. Will they be the hero or blow everything up just because they're in a mood? The rise of anti-heroes isn't just a phase, it's a whole trend. Think Joker, Loki, the Punisher, and even animated ones like Megamind and the Rise of Gru. Villains are becoming the stars, making us laugh, cry, and sometimes even root for them. It's like the universe decided, let's give the bad guys a glow up. Joker has everyone talking, and not in the fun movie night kind of way. It broke records at the box office, but it also sparked debate. Is it showing us the dark mind of a villain, or accidentally making him look like a hero? The story dives into mental health, rejection, and violence, leaving critics split. Is the Joker a cautionary tale, or is it blurring lines too much? Either way, it's chaos. Well, these stories usually go one of two ways. Either the anti-hero redeems themselves, like in Suicide Squad, or they stay delightfully shady, but somehow save the day, like Deadpool and Venom. And the best part? They're shaking up how we see good and bad. Let's get back to the 80s. Comics went wild with violent anti-heroes, and Deadpool was born as a parody of them all. But here's the twist. He became the very thing he mocked. The first Deadpool movie, a classic origin story, over-explaining how Wade got his powers. Sure, it's violent and hilariously immature, but it's also super predictable. Still, Deadpool's charm shines through, setting the stage for a sequel that's pure chaotic magic. You know what's cool about anti-heroes? They're messy, unpredictable, and way more relatable than your typical shiny, perfect superhero. Seriously, who doesn't feel the Megamind sometimes? A misunderstood blue genius who just wanted to be liked. He wasn't born bad. He just got rejected so many times that he went, fine, I'll just be the villain then. And honestly, haven't we all felt that way after a rough day? Or take the Punisher. This guy lost everything. And instead of crying in a corner, he picked up some weapons and went, all right, time to deal with the bad guys. His story gets you thinking. How much does pain and loss shape a person? And what would we do if we were in his shoes? It's deep stuff. So anti-heroes are like a mirror. They make us see how thin the line is between good and evil. Loki, for example, he's charming, funny, and tragic, but Let's not forget he's done some seriously shady things. Yet, here we are, cheering for him because he's got daddy issues and some serious charisma. Same with Maleficent. She cursed a baby. People, we're like, oh, poor thing. She just had a rough time. Hold up. We are too forgiving here. And that's where things get tricky. Anti-heroes can blur the line between right and wrong. Is it okay to excuse someone's terrible actions just because they've been through tough times? Do the ends justify the means? It's a slippery slope, and sometimes these stories don't do enough to make it clear that, hey, murder and cursing infants are still not great. Here's another downside. Anti-heroes don't always inspire us to do better. Captain America, that guy makes you want to hit the gym and save the world. But with anti-heroes, we're more like, phew, at least I'm not that bad. It's fun, but it doesn't push us to grow. Still, there's no denying anti-heroes are fascinating. They stumble, break the rules, and sometimes they pull off something good, but only in their terms. They reflect a world that isn't black and white, and that's why we love them. But here's the kicker. Do they leave us with the right lessons, or are we just here for the chaos? I'll let you chew on that one. But honestly, whether anti-heroes are heroes or troublemakers, one thing's for sure, they've made storytelling way more interesting. Let's talk about Deadpool. Wade Wilson, the king of chaos and the poster child for anti-heroes. He's violent, foul-mouthed, and has a weird obsession with chimichangas. Oh, and he loves breaking the fourth wall to chat directly with us like we're part of his messed up universe. Unlike your typical superheroes who wrestle with moral dilemmas, Deadpool's motivation is, let's say, simpler. Personal revenge with a side of cash. His motto? I may be super, but I'm no hero. But here's the kicker. How far will he go for revenge? So why do we love this walking disaster? For starters, he's hilarious. Deadpool can drop a one-liner mid-battle that'll have you laughing so hard you almost forgot how much blood is flying around. But here's the thing. Under all the wisecracks and carnage is a guy who's been through hell, literally and emotionally. After a horrific experience to cure his cancer leaves him immortal but hideously scared. He's got nothing left to lose. That rage, that sarcasm, it's all part of the package. But does Deadpool ever let his guard down? And then there's Venom, whose chaos is a completely different flavor. Imagine a sharp-toothed alien symbiote attached to a grumpy reporter, and voila, you've got Venom and Eddie Brock, the most bizarre buddy comedy duo ever. Venom started as one of Spider-Man's most terrifying villains, but over time, he slid into an anti-hero territory, and fans are loving it. But here's a question. Who's really in control, Eddie or Venom? So Venom was a whole vibe. Protect the innocent, after scaring the absolute pants off of criminals. But it's his relationship with Eddie that steals the show. The constant back and forth between their darker instincts and their attempts to do good is equal parts hilarious and heartwarming. Venom isn't saving the world because he should. He's doing it because, well, deep down, he knows it's right. And also because bad guys messing with his turf is a big no-no. But what happens when Eddie's morality clashes with Venom's hunger? Now, not to mention about Loki, the god of mischief himself. Tom Hiddleston's Loki is pure magic, charming, clever, and always 2 steps ahead. He's a trickster who thrives on chaos, but behind the smirk is a guy who's just complicated. Adopted into Asgard's royal family, constantly overshadowed by Thor, Loki's mischief stems from a desperate need for validation. And honestly, who can't relate to feeling underestimated? But can Loki ever find peace without causing mayhem? Over the years, Loki's story has been a wild ride from villain to anti-hero, full of redemption arcs and jaw-dropping betrayals. But let's be real, when it comes to Loki, can we ever trust him? Finally, Wanda Maximoff, the Scarlet Witch, the queen of complicated characters. She's not just one of the most powerful beings in the Marvel Universe, she's also one of the most emotional. From her hero days in Avenger to her anti-hero arc in WandaVision and her full-blown villain moment in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, Wanda's journey is a masterclass in how to make your audience cry and cheer at the same time. But here's the kicker. What's next for her? We all know Wanda's story story is heart-wrenching because deep down, her desires are so simple. She wants happiness, a family, a normal life. Who wouldn't want that? But here's the problem. Her methods tend to be, well, a little extreme. Like the trap an entire town at a fake reality extreme. It's not because she's evil, it's because she's grieving. The death of her brother, the loss of vision, and the pain of her stolen future pushed her to the edge. And when someone as powerful as Wanda hits rock bottom, you feel it. But here's the question. How far can grief take someone before there's no turning back? In WandaVision, we see the heartbreaking consequences of her choices. Wanda isn't out to destroy the world. She's just trying to make sense of her own. But by multiverse of madness, she's fully embraced the Scarlet Witch mantle, driven by her longing to reunite with her imaginary children. Her motives are painfully relatable, but her actions? Not so much. She's not just walking in the line between hero and villain. She's dancing across it in heels. That's what makes Wanda such a standout. She's not a traditional hero, but she's not evil either. She's a grieving, flawed, unbelievably powerful woman trying to navigate her pain. And honestly, we can't help but root for her, even when she's, tearing apart reality. But here's the thing. Can Wanda ever truly find redemption after everything she's done? Wanda's story is just one example of why antiheroes are so fascinating. They're chaotic and much more relatable than morally upright heroes. Characters like Deadpool, Venom, Loki, and Wanda challenge the idea of what it means to be a hero. They make us question our own sense of morality, showing us that life isn't black and white, it's all kinds of messy gray. Still, as much as we love anti-heroes, we must remember traditional heroes. Sure, they're not as chaotic, but they remind us to aspire to something greater. Maybe the secret to great storytelling is finding a balance, giving our heroes flaws and our anti-heroes hope. Because let's face it, whether you're team hero or team anti-hero, we all want one thing, an unforgettable story. And Wanda's, it's far from over. Before you go, make sure you check out our next video as shown on your screen. Trust me, you won't want to miss it. Click and keep watching, and don't forget to hit that like and subscribe to the channel.